I remember nap times when at first, when I was really young, I remember hating it, like I wanted to get up and play. And then I started liking them because it was boring anyway. So it was almost like comforting or something to just, I just feel these moments, like, I don't know if I was literally, like, now thinking about it, projecting myself somewhere out or completely.
If I want to say something, I will say exactly the same thing what you're saying. Exactly.
Yeah, like I'm staring at a wall and I'm just like,
I remember brutality in lots
like
of
not
games.
like it's not, you know, you're not obviously suicidal, but if it's a feeling of obojętność, how do you say, like apathy, like you don't care, whatever, like it's like, and I remember lots of moments like this when I'm a kid. Actually, now when I think about it, I remember same thing, preschool. I'm laying on the warm, there was a playground, wood, and that, like, everything was wood and this kind of, like, hard rubbery thing. And I don't know why, like, all the kids were inside. There was only, like, maybe 3 kids on the playground. And I'm laying in the sun on my stomach with my face on the wood. And then I was observing the kid, kind of almost feeling like, why can't, he seems like he's having fun. I already felt, why am I bored? Why am I bored? What's wrong with me? Why are the other kids? That's what is the main feeling. Thinking about that's the main feeling from all of childhood. What's wrong with me? Why am I bored? Everybody's smiling, especially in the American school, like happy and you know it. And happy, 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 you know it. Oh, small world. I'm like, what's, like, this is, okay, I guess this is fun, all right. Like, and you try to, like, imitate them. So I would imitate it, and I'd also be like, hey, yeah, oh, smiling when the teacher.
Ja pamiętam, jak przyleciałaś Eleanor.
Say English with Eleanor.
When you come with
But that's
Eleanor.
middle school already.
Yeah, middle school with Eleanor. Because in some store, the woman who was selling, you know, she said she gonna turn off the camera for a minute and you can take whatever
Yeah, that was
you
interesting
want.
manifestation.
Yes, and this was like...
That was at Claire's.
Yeah,
She literally said, take whatever you guys want. I don't know what, she was pissed at the manager or something. She gave us bags and said, take whatever you want from the store.
Yeah, but you know what? I see you both come screaming with joy, screaming. And I look at you and I see dokładnie exactly what you say, imitation.
Like copying.
I see this so clearly that you don't give a fuck about this. But it's somebody influencing you, whatever you want to say. I saw this so clearly in
I stopped seeing it though. I stopped seeing it though at that time. Like the program really settles in, like it becomes, and then the anger starts coming because you're a teenager. You still feel depressed, but now you're gonna rebel in some way. Or that was 6th grade of so we're, you know, still like between kids and teenagers. But yeah, it was like, because I still was trying to copy like the way that I became, and later I came into, I feel like my whole, until like in Poland, where because the kids gave me so much, you know, my ego got inflated because I was from America and I had the coolest clothes, and almost they made me, and maybe that was like a good thing in some way, in another way, because in America I always felt like as a kid I was copying because that was the reality. Like, okay, this is where I am. I didn't have a memory of, you know, oh, I'm some starseed and I know other realms. I would either be like, you know, in the pretend some things, but so many moments the same. I remember in the bathtub, I've told you this, I'm literally, and it's funny because I told myself, this was one time as a child that I told myself, I'm gonna remember this moment forever. I wanted to see if I would, and I do. I'm like probably, I don't know, 7, 8, 6, and I'm laying in the prospect in the bathtub on my stomach, and so I must be small because I could kick myself back, like when I'd push with my arms forward, I'd bounce across and then I could kick myself not far, but I'm doing that, and then I'm holding my breath and putting my forehead to the bottom, and then I would kind of open my eyes underwater, and I was staring at the concrete in the bathtub. This moment, like, I felt like this is life. Like, the mundaneness, simpleness of a moment. I don't know, like a really present feeling. Like, where am I? I'm in this tub, this thing. And I was like, I wonder if I could remember this. And I kept repeating that I will remember this random thing, and I did. And yeah, everything was like dull. Like I dumbed myself down and dulled myself down, and even like you tried to dress me up. And there's an aspect of me that didn't want to stand out because then I'd be even more lonely. You know? I think that's what it is. Because later you start rebelling the other way. I'm going to be so different that I'm going to get attention. You know, then I'm not going to be lonely because I'm going to be different. I'm going to be like a leader. I'm going to be having my style. But in elementary school, even if I liked something, it's like I just would prefer to be like, you know, dull myself down, not sparkle out another kid so that I'm not completely in this estranged reality. I remember lots of tactile things.
I must know you because whatever you say, it kind of like resonates with me, even that I have to perform different way. But the pain was the same. Yeah.
But in Poland, it feels more familiar. Like even being the fact that I was there. Remember, I went when I was little. Jako wolny słuchacz, like it was in it was elementary school, and for 2 weeks I got to just sit in Polish school class and be like a part of that. And there's something there that just felt more one, real, not fake as much, and like the smell of the books, the crayons, the way you would have your like the notebooks that you would write everything in, were much more like there was an attachment to them. You had what is a piórnik called? An organizer, like where you put all your pencils and everything. But in America, it's like you get a new one all the time. There it was like, you know what kid had which one, and you knew all the kids in the class, and your teachers were always rotating to you. You knew everybody. There was something just more, even the stuff that you didn't like there, you felt kind of more a connection with them, like they're yours. Where American school felt literally like it's a small world after all, a Disneyland ride. It felt so a fake reality.
I agree.
Like everybody's smiling, and all the songs were so stupid and like literally dumbing kids down. Like kids are bright. They're so musically gifted and creative, and it's almost like they teach you like as if you were like learning songs for babies. And it was always like, oh no, this one is like, you know, politically incorrect word in this song, we can't sing it that way. Like all those kinds of things where it's just they make you like more infantile than you are. Oh, be careful, you know, the mother's gonna sue you, you know, if like jungle gyms, everything was boring. It was all padded and like there's nothing risky. There was nothing like that you could fuck your knees up on. Like I got suspended for the little pocket knife that my grandpa gave me, and I brought it to school in the 5th grade to sharpen my pencils and crayons with. It was literally like a half an inch long or some little tiny, you know, pocket thing, like a cute one. And I got suspended for 2 weeks because they had to, because it was like half a millimeter longer than the law or something of what is considered a weapon. All those like fluoride checks, lice checks, all the lunchable shit that I was like, you would make me like fresh sandwiches, and all the kids had like their blue drinks and stuff, the gushers. Like I wanted the gushers. Yeah. It's just killing like You feel like a kind of like life betrayed you already. Like like that's what I came here for? That's why I was born? What the fuck is this?
You know, my friend Małgosia,
Need
the one
water.
who lives in San Antonio right now,
Mhm.
she emigrated to America probably about a year earlier. She go to Texas, to San Antonio. And we all were so jealous, thinking, oh my god, she's in Texas, where all the cowboys and movies, you know. Texas, this sounds so amazing. And then, a year later, I emigrate. And then we talk on the phone, and I realize, oh my god, if I will emigrate here with my parents, at this age, I will absolutely kill myself after 2 weeks being here. Shopping and go back to Poland fast as you can.
That's how I felt. That's
Yeah.
why I went back when I
Mhm.
was, you know, in middle school. Like later when I went and lived in Poland, and during I moved there 8th grade of, right? It was 7th grade. Yeah, no, 8th grade. 8th grade of middle school. I went to
survived
Poland.
because we create community. And it doesn't matter, we pray for each other so much. Doesn't matter that
Yeah, in Poland.
Ursula and Marek, they come every weekend from Orange County and Małgosia from Palm Springs.
Mhm.
Because we want to be together. That's what holds us to be sane.
Yeah, here, yeah.
Yeah. And we sleep all
But
of
yeah,
us.
as a kid, I was like, all my American friends later in high school, they knew it was like, stop talking about Poland all the time. Because then I made it like, you know, Poland was. And yeah, no, it's not perfect. There's the complete other side there that we could go into, which I'm too tired now. But,
Yeah, but it was closer of not like
It's just
we
not
just
ar-
went
as
to this
artificial.
delicatessen.
it's not as print like here. It was like milk cartons. Everybody gets the same. It's almost like they program you already for everybody to be the same. Like they don't want variety. They're very like you know, afraid of to be politically correct or whatever. But even that, it's like they don't want to. It's almost like saying, no, everybody's exactly the same. Everybody's the same, you know, instead of being like, you know what, there's beauty in people's cultures and differences. That's what makes us grow and learn from each other. And like, if kids can be kind of share, not, and it wasn't, it was literally the program of literally making everyone, that whole thing in America, everybody's equal. Everybody has to like, you know, you can't tell a kid that you know, you're singing a shitty song, and or like, you know, because you have to tell everybody how great they are all the time, otherwise. And there's a way to do that, to help someone. I'm saying tell them their, you know, their song sucks, but there's a way that you can kind of healthy competition.
Mm-hmm.
Not competition, but like a competitiveness of expansion and growth, and
they can actually inspire each other.
Yeah, like in Poland, they would literally say like, "Oh, you know, Mateusz is like, you know, he can teach you to play on the trumpet or whatever. He's like the best at it." Here, if somebody said that in like a school, it would be like, "Oh my gosh, she told my kid that he wasn't as good as, you know, Mateusz."
Mm.
And their mother would be already on the phone with the principal or something. Whereas, yeah, maybe that kid would feel kind of like, oh damn, like I'm not as good, but maybe that would also kind of like, I don't know, like spark a healthy also. Here it was literally like the programming of like, everybody's like, everybody looks the same, everybody shops at the same stores, everybody eats the same, you know, Lunchables, everybody gets the cafeteria food, like,
McDonald's.
yeah, like everything is just, yeah, it's a very, like the types of toys, the thing. In Poland it was more of a variety of like, I don't know, there was just more like an attachment to, you had less, but the things you had, like your toy was like kind of yours, and more special.
And also having a friend that you can talk and talk and talk and talk. You almost don't need these toys.
Well, that's the main thing, you know? in America, I thought about actually thinking about this. I don't remember kids really using their imagination. I actually feel like it's purposely shut down, because look, okay, so American school, they already tell you what to imagine. We had everything set up. Here you play house, here you play what are like the typical, everything is already here. You play teacher, here you play, there's like the types of games and a bunch of these types of games already there, and you choose from them. Each of them are basically a program. In Poland, we made up our games. They bleed over, like every kid has played hide and go seek probably in every, country. But in Poland, all my toys went aside and we would use our imagination of like, how can we create an imaginary world from a blank canvas almost, like from the environment, from the nature, from the trees, like where are we going to climb and what we're going to pretend that we are without having all the like toys doing it for you and
the characters from the movie. So.
yeah. Okay. I'm looking at the pillows and stuff that are mine. No, we did get out of the Lulu bin because we wouldn't know that it's crazy here otherwise. We would be, well, like, there's a lot of people that don't see how crazy it is.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Every single one, including us.
Got milk? Yeah. All the perverted commercials. It's scary. It's scary. It's scary. And the food, like what we were saying, it's programmed. It's all that programming, all this Slurpee. It's all like very like the root beer float with the, and then throwing all the comedies with throwing the pie in the face and burping and slurping. Everything. It's like the toys. All the toys are like all those squirt guns and squirt gack spray on your face, whatever that silly string is called. Yeah, remember the gack kind of, you play with that mushy. And then there was that penis feeling thing. What was it? That toy with the little fish inside that you hold and it slips out of your hand all the time. You can't grasp it. It like keeps moving, Yeah. What other toys are there? Slinky, Baby All Gone. She's my water baby. Warms and giggles. I still remember the commercials. And gives me the something. It's my water baby. So water baby, then Baby All Gone. I had a Baby All Gone. She ate it all up.
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony. Oh yes, My Little Pony. Oh yeah, that's like a big pedophile ponies. It's like crazy. It's like everything is programming. Like Sesame Street, like all the Big Bird. Then there was what other toys were there?
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's so hard because all the innocence that what you believe was innocence, it's just like
Slip and slide.
showing completely different face, and it's so painful. You really realize that you are in some crazy game.
Yeah. What other kind of toys did I have?
Cabbage dolls. But I always, you see, that's what you
No, I was
didn't
never
like.
into Cabbage Patch Kids.
No?
I was never into the Cabbage Patch thing. I mean, Poland kept me sane. I liked the active personally, but I'm just like right now talking about all the toys, like not even the ones that I chose to play with, because I always liked all those creative kind of toys, like the ones that you had to make something.
But you see, I used to buy this kind of toys to you.
Yeah, I know.
For you. I remember from very beginning, I kind of didn't like all these shiny plastic toys. I feel like that natural. I used to go to this little
Yeah, like
European style.
Swedish types of
Yeah.
toys and stuff. Yeah,
I
with
used
the
to
wood.
bring that kind of, toys
Yeah.
to you. Even the dolls that I choose for you was like. I remember Pippi Longstocking. You have the doll of her, and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, but I preferred like all the toys that were something you had to like okay, so they had that little one where it's like you could make like mini food. It was like a little hamburger press, and then it had like a little mini machine, and you could like have your little mini kitchen. And then there was like the books where you could, it teaches you how to weave the friendship bracelets or make something out of modeling clay or color pens. I was always like, those were more. I liked dolls, but they were like my family because you guys were crazy, so they replaced my.
See, it's funny because I don't even remember myself being that crazy. I don't remember. You see, when you saying this, I feel almost like how I didn't really realize that we were that crazy. Me and your father.
It's not even.
Because, we fight, but I don't remember us fighting all the time.
It's not that. It's not like all the time. I think it's like when you are a sensitive kid and it happens several times and it happens bad, then you're constantly tuned into waiting for the next time, monitoring every face expression, every body movement. A kid is, especially a kid that's like psychic, how I was, I could tell, I could sense it. It was like, even like, let's say you come in and you're just like, like, I already feel then the energy. And then my dad and all that, so we become like a psychic sponge, and then you're trying to mediate between the two. I don't remember most of my childhood, like I said, like the earlier stuff, which also means that I blocked things out. That's a level of, that's what happens, you suppress. You don't remember. I don't remember. It was like, and that what really proved to me how much like things can be in our complete unknown that are there was when I did the one healing thing where I actually have it audio recorded when I was doing about the scar that I have till today where Sergiusz scratched me. And I was talking about that, and then I started doing some invocation, revocation, removing that energy. And then I started imagining, and like shadow work, like then I imagined angels coming in, and I was like 7 or something then, and taking us outside. And when I took us outside of the blockhouse, all of a sudden shot back to me a memory where the kids on the right outside, they took me by my feet upside down, and they dropped me in a puddle of water, and I was like bleeding like on my side or something, and I was going to babcia crying, but that was completely like zero. Like I had the way that dreams come back to us, like you just all of a sudden something triggers and you remember your dream from the previous night that was absolutely gone from your conscious memory, like that reappeared. So it made me think, like, how many things.
That's what I just said before.
And that's why when we do shadow work too, like that, if I start going into what random things like that, like it was just simply what triggered that was us going outside, and for some reason going downstairs and outside to the front of the blockhouse, all of a sudden that memory came out of nowhere. So, doing those kinds of like, whatever it is, that's why, Andrew even has these tell your story to the fire things. I think that's kind of, like he suggests to people that it's a powerful thing to do, to sit by the fire and just talk all your memories, whatever it is, like the most random stuff. And I could totally see by doing that too, how many things might come out from a complete.
You telling me something like that, and I say, oh my God, I'm supposed to protect this child. Where I was when this happened.
Oh, I was in Poland.
I know, but this doesn't
With
matter.
Grandma.
I'm asking myself right now.
Yeah.
When you're saying this, I
Oh,
say.
so like maybe Grandma didn't tell you to exactly how bad, or.
No, but just generally, I hear this and I feel like where I was,
Yeah.
you know.
Where was I?
Yeah,
So what were you saying?
Hmm?
On the
So
The
finally, I didn't want to speak up. Everybody was so fucking excited about this. So
About what?
About to go into the carousel.
That's like, oh yeah, those are at the carnival, like the carnival
Yeah,
rides
like
with the
the
spinning
yeah,
chairs
yeah,
with the
yeah.
chains.
Yeah.
And there's actually a picture online with somebody that the chain broke off and the
Fucking coach. This was my nightmare, literally. And then finally I sit on that. And I'm screaming because everybody's screaming. I'm screaming. I thought like, if I ever gonna get down from that shit, I don't care if I'm never gonna be popular the rest of my life. But I never gonna do this again. And I remember I was like asking, what, why? I remember, you know, all this, like they organized for us the zabawy. I don't know how to say this. It was like a dance, you know. And everybody was going, and I was like waiting for that music to start.
Mm-hmm. You go, it's like shitty music.
And there was a shitty music with drunk people, and it was no fun at all. But you still act like it's so much fun.
No, I was now looking back. I was really hypersensitive as a kid. I sat in the movie theater when you took me with Lunia that day, and so I was like, what, 7,
Mhm.
right? You guys took to see his Beauty and the Beast. And I sat through the entire movie with my hands cupped over my ears because it was obviously too loud, or I'd be scared when they would do the like where it would get louder all of a sudden, you know. It's like also the American like system or whatever trains already into you like screaming is fun and all this kind of fluctuations of even the cartoons. Ooh, ah, ooh, ow! Like, and then you're trained to smile during that. There's that, and then yeah, at Disneyland I would like be the freaking kid like crying, and I remember standing in line to the roller coasters with the other kids, telling myself, and I was literally having an anxiety attack, telling myself like I'm gonna go on, it's gonna be fine. And in the last moment, I would break down crying, and I had to sit on the wall, like, and wait for everybody to go through the hour line because it takes forever to get on the ride and come off of it. I was scared of the roller coasters of already from my kid. The drops are the most terrifying for me. The loud noises. I think that's more because it's not so much the speed and the even going upside down is fine. It's the drops and the sounds were like, it scared me. The intensity of everything was too intense. But one thing I did like about like Disneyland and this kinds of place, like what would be my favorite was the art of it. Like going into the Pirates of the Caribbean on a little boat and you're looking at all the, you know.
Yeah.
You're in a different world, you know. That's obviously what I.
Me too.
Yeah,
This was my favorite.
I liked all those kinds of rides. It's like peaceful, and then you like get to be in a different reality. Indiana Jones, even though that one's kind of like jumpy, it's not really like. But all those kinds of like, and that lasted forever. I've never even been to Six Flags. Knott's Berry Farm. I did conquer a few rides there. I mean, we're just programmable. You can be programmed to like it. I even remember me and McKenna in that little theme park they had that swing. And those are really, your stomach is like, "Ugh," every time it goes back and forth, the one where everybody sits on the sides and swings up and down. But I remember the theme park was almost empty, so the man let us ride it over and over. We sat on that swing for 10 practically sessions on the very corners, McKenna on one, me on the other. And after the 10th time, we would stand up. Because you could like hold, and you're kind of here, you're held in by the bar on your stomach, so you could stand up, and it would just, the fear, it dissolves. It's like my stomach stopped flipping up and down. You feel like, okay, now I'm ready to go even higher.
I remember that
So it's
because
programmed.
in Poland I was, the huśtawki and everything was
Swing.
completely suicidal practically.
Yeah.
So you have to be acrobat.
Yeah, some of my
To
best
not
scars from Polish, you know.
that you don't kill yourself with it. So you have to be very creative. And you learn how to be acrobat very fast.
Oh yeah.
It's just nature. Like, I remember, when I was in Chichen Itza, there were kids who ran up and down to the top of the pyramid at that time. And this is not a small steps. They were flying up and down. And we were like climbing them, in practically dying.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a combination because as scared as I was of the rides, I was amazing at, I could climb up every rooftop, go on every wall. Like, I wasn't scared of heights. So obviously it was something about the control, being like forced into something and I can't get off of this ride. And and the ride keeps going and going, and then eventually you think it's real. Remember Bill Hicks? It's just a ride. You look that up. That was funny. But no, that's what it is. It is, because it's like, if I can go end the sound. I never really thought about that so much until right now, actually. I knew that, in the movie it was too scary, too loud. But now that I think about it, I'm like, I think I always have been hypersensitive to sounds. That part of the theme parks and all the screaming and vroom, vroom, like, I was overwhelmed by the amount of sound frequency there. Like, if that was quieter and I could not be locked into something and, look over the edge exactly how far I'm about to fall, you don't even know, and you have to just, like, yeah, that wasn't, I think that was something that was the main.
For me, I was always surprised that people don't hear what I hear. When some sound touch my soul, and of course it's changed.
Well, that's not childhood, that's like later, you mean?
Even as a child, the music was always so important to me.
Oh, yeah, well, now you're talking about music. I'm talking about, like, childhood, theme park sounds.
No, but for me, I say about sound, that was the biggest surprise for me. Very early, like, huh? Well,
for me, it wasn't actually, it was with my father's music, practically, playing with him, because I loved it from the beginning, the microphones and everything, like, but it's still, again, as a kid, I think it was simply, where's the music that is supposed to, the same as everything else, like, until I get older and I start listening to, like, 60s music, and then it's kind of like, okay, like, somebody is playing something, but otherwise, I don't really remember you playing music, and which you probably didn't, because my dad controlled and you were working. I don't remember music in our lives until you guys separated. Then you were playing KCRW all the time.
because
Then
this
my
was,
music kind of
this was
started
one
expanding.
station without commercials, and this was 2 programs. Music become eclectic.
On KCRW.
Yeah, on KCRW. And then Weekend, Weekend become eclectic.
Yeah.
Where they were people who play music from different parts of the world, which in America is impossible to find anywhere else.
Yeah, as a kid, I don't remember. I was locked into either my dad's, music, which I love because I was like a part of that. I got to sing along with him, and where he involved me, because he was also self-absorbed in his, you know, he probably played stuff like that wasn't for a kid, too far down the, you know, to love dramatic songs, which I just wasn't. But when he would write the ones like, you know, Kot Kazimierz and stuff, they were definitely, you know, we'd sing together, and I loved it. But, and then the other music was shitty, happy, and you know it's at school. I don't remember other music. Then the earliest music that I feel like as a kid, it was like, again, it was kind of like crappy stuff. So like Ace of Base started, you know, coming in elementary school, and then of course it was like TLC and stuff, but I never really, I just kind of the same as like, okay, I mean, it's fun to listen to something. I don't know if this is speaking to my soul, but it's fun to sing along, alright, like.
Yeah, but at that time already I play music every single day. And luckily Gary never really have an issue with that.
I remember you starting to play music maybe from me being in 5th grade of elementary school. Before that, younger kid, I remember having a little Walkman. I'm a kid and listening to Ace of Base in the car. I'm little. That was like, you know.
Because I tried to even introduce you to some music. I was explaining to you. I remember Gary was very much into Latin music, salsa.
Oh, the kids. I wanted to copy, like, it was already a, you know, it's programs. It's
I understand, but I'm saying there was the music in the house. And actually pretty like I learned how to make my own tapes. It takes me forever, but I learn how to do it.
I remember always and like
start making my own,
especially on Prospect. I don't remember for some reason so much music on Huron. I don't know why, but I remember on Prospect waking up in the mornings and we'd always have the music on.
Yeah, Huron too. Actually, that's where I finally be like.
Why don't I remember that?
Yeah. I have a client who come to my house, and years later, she say, "I used to love to come to your house, because I love the music you play." Like, and before, you know, I didn't play the music that I play right now at work. I play all kind of like, you know, find song of Susan Vega or.
Yeah.
You know, somebody that was not. And people was like, "Oh, who's that? Oh, who's that? I never hear that." And, you know, "Oh, tell me the name." Who is it?
Yeah, as much as like my father was the so-called musical, you know, he's the musician, the like implanted that art side in me. You've always been a lot more variety of, you know, he's locked into a particular.
Yeah.
You know, himself, his music, and like I don't remember him like opening himself up to all kinds of different sounds. But no, everything is just, it's a programming, because I feel like it took me a long time to even figure out like, and we're still always figuring out what is like more our sound and what is made to be liked. Because then it's like, it starts matching with your emotions, you know, in high school, then you're like, yeah, you know, all the hip-hop, and you feel that kind of like, I'm cool now, and I still like it, like, I like a lot of the songs, because they give you that feeling, like, all music, like, it creates a certain feeling, even Disco Polo, it's funny, like, when I was a kid, I liked it, because it was obviously cheerful, and with you and my dad and all the like, you know, psychic energy that I was absorbing from you guys' tension, I think there was something uplifting about it. Like, you just feel like, you know,
Careless.
Yeah, it's so
there's
like
no rules there.
Everybody come on to listen to Disco Polo. There's no anybody's gonna be in a good mood.
Yeah.
You know, a certain amount of songs before you go crazy, but. And then there was all the, you know, I felt like in Poland, like I loved that in Russia they have that all part of the culture that people actually go and sit at a campfire at all the things, and we would sing, play the guitar and all the songs that you learn there. It's also a bit repetitive. There's a lot of that, like every camp sings the same
songs.
But then again, it's like kind of awesome because everybody knows. You go to a new camp, and it's actually a pretty big variety. It's not like a small little book of, like in American school, it's like got 5 songs maybe that the kids know. Yeah. In entire Poland, you will go, and any kid that's after generation, they know the songs. Same as in Russia. Here, that's not part of at all the culture. To sing together.
It's a laboratory. Different
getting you ready to
like
work.
I say, you know, all this country, it's like a laboratory. Let's create that kind of environment for those. They're gonna be Swedish. And here we're gonna give them a little bit this. We'll see how they're gonna, you know, behave.
Swedish? Wait, what?
Well, I'm saying it's like each country is almost like a laboratory.
Oh, I thought you said here is like a laboratory.
Here it's like a laboratory too. I mean, in America it's a laboratory.
Yeah. Yeah, on the micro, macro, it's like, yeah. But I feel like there's different, you see, Poland has programs, but they're more organic. As bad as they are, they have a more organic energy. Whereas here, it feels like that non-organic, like technological, robotic kind of, like there it's more, you know, superstition, everybody repeat, like, you know, like jealousy from wounds of being, like, you know, the poverty things, like there's a lot of stuff that's really judgmental, and the neighbors talking shit about each other, and all this stuff that people also don't really think out of the box of, because they're kind of like almost too programmed into their culture, where America actually has the other thing. I think it's like that maybe same also simultaneously breeds almost rebellious kind of like where there are those people that reach further out of the box, even though you have like everybody that's kind of mostly wants all the same. Then there's like that percent that just goes, that's why at the same time it's the most in some way creative, you know, forward moving, you know, the spirituality kind of is like, you know, further ahead in many ways, and lots of things, ideas are kind of born here, whereas I feel like other countries, including Poland, like they get very like locked into their because here it's like a
repetition kind of.
Yeah, and it's more like it's a different type of repetition, like the kinds of like you know, religion, culture, you know, you eat pierogi with, you know, this, and lots of different cultures have that kind of thing. But the America stuff is like, no, it's there's a system here running more. Poland doesn't have as much it's not like as much of a, you know, Illuminati type of like control system. Here it's like the program is like a small world after all, right? Poland, it's more a collective, and everybody becomes the collective in countries like Poland, let's say. So because it's a comfort, it's a kind of like you're part of something, and people don't really reach out as much. Here, you're so isolated and lonely because everybody's just programmed to like people on top controlling the masses much more. I mean, now it's becoming global, but that system is really here. And I think here maybe too, because a lot of us, at least at this time, are coming here to break that system. But as much as they separate us, that also bites them in the ass in some way. Because when you isolate people to that, it's like you're all the same, but then you're isolated. You're lonely in your own little sameness. That it's almost like it creates like these small sparks of complete creativity, where all of a sudden it births like a generation of, you know, like certain, you know, rebellious type of energies. They're more... See, look, and in England, I was about to say musicians. England, too, is very controlled by a small group, and the same thing happens there. It's like a lot of the rock, you know, some of the best music has come from England.
I was thinking about this. Why them?
Yeah.
Nothing special about them. And
You're pushed to such, like, what the hell is this reality, that it's almost like you start imagining, like, to the extreme, like...
Yeah, that you manifest.
Yeah. Whereas, like, in Russia, in Poland, even Russians, they're amazing musicians. They have, like, their voices and stuff, but it's all kind of similar. And the same with so many cultures.
Yeah, they
like,
don't bring anything new, you see? They don't bring
that's what I'm
new.
saying. It births the creativity, the creative force here.
Yeah, they don't bring new. Here, they always someone come with something new. You feel like, oh, that is impossible for new. Everything already was, and, you know, boom. And it's most of the time happening here. That's why all the people from all over the world always thought America is the place to be recognized.
And then, sadly enough, I mean, yeah, that's a big topic, and there's lots of reasons for that. But interesting enough, too, it's like the sad thing is, though, that some of those creative forces then get, you know, completely swallowed up by the, you know, the control system's kind of out to get them as well. Yeah. And it's hard to, you know, let those people get killed. It's a different time now. That change is happening.